This week we watched the unreleased Fantastic Four from 1994. If this movie had been released, it would have been the first feature-length film based on Marvel characters. Instead, this movie was acquired and destroyed by Marvel before it became widely available as a bootleg. Even though Fantastic Four was never officially released, it became widely available enough to become a cult classic, which is kind of impressive.
It is interesting that, stuff leaks, even back in 1994.
This film has been getting pulled from YouTube recently, which might have to do with the latest reboot, The Fantastic Four First Steps, which is coming out in a couple weeks. This new film might be The Fantastic Four's first steps, but this 1994 version crawled so that The Fantastic Four could be rebooted twice with Pedro Pascal.
Maybe more than that, Gary, no?
I think it's just the second reboot.
Okay, because they made a sequel to the Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis, Jessica Alba, and whoever the hell else was Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, that was like 10 years ago, right?
Okay, I guess so. But I never saw those ones either.
I never saw those. I've never seen anything with Pedro Pascal. I kind of like to keep it that way.
That's going to be hard, Gary.
It's going to be hard.
In literally everything nowadays.
They put him in everything now.
Yeah. You can't... You watch commercials, no? He's in like every commercial selling whatever.
I think I saw him in Game of Thrones. I think that's the only thing I've watched that he's been in.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, he's a weird guy, huh?
Is he?
There's this clip of him like filleting an Amaran tube, like pretending to give it a blowjob.
Is that weird? I do that all the time.
In 1987, German producer Bernd Eichinger obtained the rights for a Fantastic Four film from Stan Lee for an estimated cost of $250,000. At the time, Warner Brothers and Columbia Pictures were interested, but budgetary concerns kept them from greenlighting the film. Since the option was scheduled to expire on December 31st, 1992, Eichinger planned to retain his option by producing a low-budget Fantastic Four film without the backing of a big studio. In September of 92, just 2 months before his option would expire, he made a deal with legendary B-movie producer Roger Corman, who agreed to produce the film on a $1 million budget to be released by his distribution company New Horizon Pictures.
Back in the 90s, or even 80s, comic books were for niche nerds, and it wasn't like nowadays every single movie is a comic book, and everybody's super precious about the damn comic book.
Well, that's the thing. They were able to license this movie for very cheap because they did it in 1987.
Right.
And then even just a few years later, this is becoming valuable. Hollywood wants to make comic book movies. So it was kind of like a short-sighted thing to license the movie. And then right at the end, right when the license was about to expire, they actually made the movie.
Yeah, like it expired the 31st of December. They started production like the 28th of December or something. Ridiculously close call.
After the film was produced, it was purchased and buried by Marvel, and the unreleased film has been pirated to the point of becoming a cult classic. It used to be easy to find this movie on YouTube. Now, the only version you could find on there is a very low-res version with French subtitles. So if you want a decent transfer of this film, you pretty much have to pirate it.
I mean, you say a decent transfer, but there was never a decent transfer. It was like ripped
like
off VHS.
It's a telecine.
Yeah.
It got bootlegged when the director made a telecine copy.
Okay.
So it's basically a standard definition version, but it's at least watchable. The original film print and negatives has been destroyed, so it is unlikely there will be a higher res scan, which is unfortunate. I think it's pretty short-sighted to not preserve things like this. And what harm is there really in Disney making this, putting this out on a Blu-ray or throwing it on a streaming service?
It's just money in their pockets. I don't know why you would, yeah.
I don't understand why it's so precious. They, reboot this thing every 10 years anyways.
Maybe back in the day when you only had so many movies coming out and so many platforms to put movies, you could be like, all right, this is one of the first Marvel movies people are going to see, and if it's just a big stinker, like people won't want to see the next one.
It totally made sense in 1994 to shelve the movie, but at this point it's like, who cares? It's not going to hurt Marvel movies at all.
No, totally.
I'm going to give this movie 2 stars. It's not good, but it is novel and somewhat interesting for what it is. This film was made in 1993, but it looks like it was shot in 1973. And the performances feel like they're from 1963.
Hi, Mrs. Storm. Johnny and Susan go to outer space with us?
Well, I don't know, dear. You'll have to ask them.
Yes, I could agree with all of that. I did think it was a 70s movie until it started.
Fantastic Four is extremely broad. The movie spoon feeds you the plot in a way that feels completely unnecessary. There are a lot of bad practical effects, but the thing is kind of impressive. I believe they spent a huge majority of the film's $1 million budget on the Thing costume and animatronics, and he does look cool. There's good face detail. It's kind of impressive for 1994.
Yeah, I mean, when did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles come come out? Because I would say
It might have been 1990.
I would say the mouth is on par
similar
with-
effects to like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
which was a bigger budget, not a huge budget, but a bigger budget movie. The Thing does look kind of cool. The Mr. Fantastic effects, I feel like really pale in comparison. The real novelty of this film is the comic realistic Thing and Doctor Doom. They look exactly like they did in the comic books, and it's about the nicest thing I can say about this movie.
Well, Gary, I'm gonna actually I'm gonna have to agree with you on most of those parts. I'm gonna give the movie 4 stars
Oh wow.
out of 100. It was just bad. I didn't enjoy it. I wanted to enjoy it, which is why it's like not a 0. It's not a total just burn this movie and all its negatives, but I wouldn't have minded if they did.
There's a documentary about this film called Doomed, the untold story of Roger Corman's The Fantastic Four, which is mostly made up of interviews with the cast and crew. The main thesis of the documentary is that this movie was never meant to be released, and that the whole arrangement was unfair to the cast and crew. I don't necessarily agree with that sympathetic portrayal of the cast and crew. I think the cast and crew kind of suck. And Roger Corman probably would have released this movie if Marvel didn't offer him money to shelf it. I don't buy the conspiracy theory that this was never meant to be released. I think it was meant to be released, but
then Marvel's like, no, we didn't mean to release it.
yeah, if Roger Corman could make more money by not releasing it, he's going to do that. He doesn't give a fuck about Fantastic Four or any of this stupid shit. The way the Fantastic Four characters meet in this film is a little strange. The movie opens and Reed Richards and Ben Grimm are college students living in a boarding house run by a single mother, and Reed Richards' future love interest, Sue Storm, is his landlady's child.
Yeah, kind of weird.
It's kind of a weird choice.
Yeah, I mean, he never says, ooh, that child, but she's all like, ooh, that old man.
There's no reason to include Johnny and Sue as children in this film. They could just as easily be introduced as adults.
Yes, agreed. And then when it finally comes time to go to space, he's like, you know what? I lived with 2 kids for a while. What if they went to space with me? Like, the logic just doesn't make any sense.
Anyone for a ride in a rocket ship? I'll drive.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
You've got a lot to do.
Don't let anything happen to my babies.
See to it personally.
Reed Richards is friends and classmates with Victor Von Doom, and the two are involved in a scientific experiment gone wrong, spurred by the passing of a comet called Colossus, a comet that somehow causes a solar eclipse, which I'm pretty sure is not a scientific possibility. The writers of this film make no attempts to explain any of the science. It's all extremely vague and broad.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's written for fucking 5-year-olds.
It's a comic book. I didn't expect it. It's not a science fiction movie at all. You know, it's
a science fiction movie, but it's a retarded science fiction.
It doesn't have any science in it. It's just fiction. It's just a fiction movie, Gary.
Anyway, the experiment goes wrong and Victor Von Doom is killed. He's pummeled with some sort of energy that they're attempting to harness from the comet. And Joseph Culp as Victor Von Doom getting electrocuted is possibly the worst acting and direction I've ever seen. And it really drags on. The logic isn't there. The performance is bad.
He gets
the direction is
like
bad.
A good minute. He's no. He says no twice. It's like you're getting electrocuted. There's no time.
It's like
to
they
use your
figured out the special effects in post.
Yeah, they're like, no, just shake around. We'll figure it out later. And then they did it, and they're like, ooh, this is actually one of the cheaper effects to do. Let's fill some screen time with you being electrocuted.
It's not the only time. There's a bunch of sequences in this movie that are like this.
Like what? Just poorly made?
Just like people mime acting to like ill-conceived special effects that aren't there yet.
Right.
It just feels very low effort. Victor Von Doom is believed to be dead as a result of the experiment gone wrong, but he's just laying low and plotting his revenge. The same way Reed Richards is plotting a romantic relationship with that child.
Who grows up before he, is finally interested?
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's just grooming, Gary. Yeah. And that's acceptable in today's.
Well, I was like, what's the motive for this? Is it because like the audience will relate more if they meet these characters as kids? And like that's fucking weird.
No,
too.
the whole thing was weird. I think it was just to establish that they did have some sort of relationship. I don't know why they had to make her so young though. She could have been in college too.
Yeah.
Like why? I mean, is it comic accurate though? Because maybe then
it might be, but who cares? You can change whatever, right?
Comic book readers care, Gary. they'll shit all over your movie if it's not exactly comic book accurate.
10 years later, Reed, Susan, Johnny, and Ben participate in a mission on an experimental spacecraft as the same comet passes Earth again. Unbeknownst to the four, on the spacecraft, a crucial diamond component designed to protect them from the comet's cosmic rays has been stolen by a criminal named the Jeweler, leaving them exposed to radiation, which results in the four gaining superhuman abilities. Now, the spacecraft scene is probably one of the worst things in the movie. Like, they really didn't have the budget to do an effective space scene. And the Jeweler is also a huge compromise because they wanted the movie to have Mole Man in it.
Okay.
But they couldn't get the license for Mole Man. The license for Fantastic Four didn't include a bunch of extra characters. It was just the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom. And when they're setting up this shot of them in the spacecraft, it's like showing this shitty spacecraft, and then it just cuts to like public domain footage of rocket boosters.
Real rocket boosters, yep. It's a cheap way to do it. Look at Corman, he makes it happen. In
And
fact,
they didn't even like make a fake smaller rocket or something. It's just just stock footage.
Yeah, just stock footage. Hey, if it's available and it's cheaper than making a model
This
rocket.
cost $1 million.
Yeah, and it's cheaper to get stock footage than it is to build a miniature, Gary. The intro, which actually looks pretty decent, it's a bunch of space footage, is actually stolen from Roger Corman's Journey Beyond the Stars from 1980. It's just recycled footage anyway, so like they're cutting corners wherever they can because they spend it all on the Thing's big orange dong.
The Thing. Is this dork made of orange rock like the rest of his body?
It's a superhero secret.
As far as the character's effects are concerned, the Thing looks pretty cool for 1994. Sue Storm is relatively easy effect to pull off on a low budget. The Human Torch feels a bit compromised, but there's some decent fire effects. The only time you see him completely on fire, though, it's pretty rough CG.
It looks like the Lawnmower Man's CG.
But I think the worst of it is Mr. Fantastic. There was clever things you could have done to film scenes of Mr. Fantastic. Like, you could have done shots where Mr. Fantastic is in the background and you have actors in the foreground pretending to be his arms, and you make it look like his arm is in the foreground moving. There's things that could have been done to make this look cool, and it's just bad fake arms.
It's lazy.
Yeah, it's very lazy. After the four crash land back on Earth, they are picked up by Marines, or they think they're Marines, but they're actually captured by Doctor Doom. It leads to a scene where they're examined by one of the worst film interpretations of a doctor that I've ever seen. It just looks like a guy in a generic doctor's costume from a Halloween store.
Yep, he's got the shiny disc on his head.
The big magnifying thing on his head. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Is this supposed to be 1994? He's just walking around like a big fucking fake syringe. It feels like they wrote, cast, and shot this in a day.
They might have. I wouldn't put it past him.
Dr. Doom's evil plan is to take all the Fantastic Four's powers and put them into himself. You think he would just recreate their experiment?
Was that his plan?
Yeah.
So, wait, he wanted to take all their blood and, like, put it into him?
The science is vaguely explained, but yeah, he wants to take all their powers out of them and put them into him.
Okay. Well, did Doom say this himself? Because he's wearing a mask and they didn't shoot any ADR. So I'm Dr. Doom, Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah, the whole time Joseph Culp is performing as Dr. Doom in this film, you can't understand what the fuck he's saying. It's so terrible.
He's got a mask on and he keeps clicking his fingers, clickety clackety, clickety clackety, which, I actually like that part of Doom, but
you need to ADR this whole movie. It's completely inaudible.
And they're like, well, it's not going to get it released, so
yeah,
don't even worry about that shit.
Aside from having the best special effects, the Thing is the most interesting and dramatic character. He's the only one of the four whose powers affect the way he looks permanently and in an uncontrollable way, which then leads to a storyline where Ben Grimm's love interest is a blind woman who is captured by the Jeweler because this movie is from the 90s. But it works on like 1960s logic where like if you want a woman, you just kidnap her.
Yeah.
She's
going to be my bride, and so I'm kidnapping her. I have a diamond that I'm not going to give to her or something, or whatever the hell his plan was with the diamond. Not to mention, when the blind woman is captured by the Jeweler, there's a POV when they like spray her with some knockout gas, but she's blind. She wouldn't have a point of view where we see from her eyes of her getting sprayed. What the?
Yeah.
She would hear it.
Yeah, POV shot of her should just be a black screen.
Exactly.
Dr. Doom gives the Fantastic Four an ultimatum. Either they need to surrender to him or he will destroy New York City, which is pretty classic, like comic book villain type shit. And this leads to a final showdown between the Fantastic Four and Dr. Doom. I think Reed Richards escapes by stretching his little leg out there.
Yeah.
Kicking a laser.
You know what was my biggest issue, actually, with all the logic in the movie was that Dr. Doom's like, all right, I'm going to shoot New York with a laser. He's got the laser positioned straight up into the sky and shoots this laser. Okay, laser is light. So it's just going to go straight into space. That's not going to curve around the Earth and come back down to New York. Second, at least a good minute passes before Johnny Flame's like, hey guys, I got to go stop this laser. Flame on. I'll see you guys soon, so be stay. He's got like way too much dialogue. There's already a laser shot at New York. It's already hit New York. It's light. It goes way fucking faster than anything. But then he flames on.
It's not even like it's Superman or like a character who's supposed to be fast. It's just...
No, he's just a flame. And so somehow then he's able to fly around the Earth and catch up with this laser and then use flame powers to stop the laser. None of that is logical.
I think my favorite part of the movie is the last shot after Reed Richards marries Sue Storm and they're driving away in the limo and he's like trying to wave out the sunroof with his big stupid arm. It just looks like a pool noodle with a glove on it.
Big wiggly like wacky waving inflatable arm sticking out the top. Yeah. Well, let's just be glad it wasn't his big and like wiggly dick, shaking out the top. I did notice, though, speaking of relationships and whatnot, that when Ben
Do you think Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic is going to stretch his penis into his own mouth?
Maybe. I hope so. I hope so. That would be worth going to see Gary. At some point, he does. When the blind woman professes her love for him. He's come to save her, and he then loses his powers. He turns back into regular man.
Yeah, the love makes him transform into a normal man for a moment, and then he just runs away.
He runs away, and then as soon as he gets outside, he just turns straight back into the rock thing. So then at the end, when they re-meet again, and she's like, oh, I love you, and she's like feeling his rock body and finally feeling his face, and she like, her hands are off screen, and he does this like, like moan. Like
It's nice to meet you.
Like she's touching his dong or something. It's clearly she's touching his dong, and he's like, ugh.
How come he doesn't turn back into a real person when he's back?
That's what I'm saying. And now that their love is together, why would he stay a rock man? Like, what kind of logic is that? Yeah. Why did he turn unrock before, and now he just stays rock?
Yeah, the whole thing just feels very ill-conceived. Which I guess, is kind of obvious.
Yeah, right.
So I almost feel stupid being so critical of this movie. I'm like, this is really crap for children.
Right. So can we be this critical of the thing?
Yeah. And what's worse, back when comic book movies were low effort crap for children, or now that they're like high effort crap for adult children?
Right.
What's
or man
worse?
Babies?
Really? Yeah.
I don't know.
Which culture was better? I think maybe we're going backwards.
The Fantastic Four, Reed Richards. Can his whole body stretch? I mean, every part, like his...
I know what you mean. We never really tackled stuff like that in the old days. I mean, what with the comic book code and all.
To create images is always a challenge. Digital magic.